Hi, my name is Darcy Hawker. I'm a candidate for the Educational Leadership Endorsement through Fort Hays State University. I'm currently a robotics and STEM lab facilitator with the Junction City School District, along with being a secondary CHAMPS and Data Talk facilitator for the district. My undergraduate degree is from Kansas State University, along with holding my first master's degree in educational computing design and online learning. I serve as an adjunct professor with Fort Hays State teaching AEP 800 Utilization of Technology in the Classroom. Previously, I taught kindergarten for 17 years along with being the site coordinator for the after-school program at that same district. My professional goals: in a minimum of 2 years, I want to be an assistant or a lead building administrator with the Junction City School District. In 5 years, I want to secure a lead position as an administrator within the same district and serve as a top instructional leader in the areas of technology and behavioral interventions. In 10 years, I will continue my service as the lead administrator for a school within my district. My personal goals: I want to be the parent of 2 successful children. One in college and one in high school. My goal is to guide them to be self-sufficient adults. I plan in the next 5 years to pay off the majority of my educational debt, and I want to travel with my family. And in 10 years, I plan to be a grandma to a grandchild or 2 and be able to spoil them with love and support. Next thing that I'm going to show you would be my program of study. Because I had a master's degree from Kansas State University, some of the courses that were required were taken care of. EDL 850 I took in the summer of 15, 851 I'm currently taking, 852 I took that in the summer of 15, 853 in the fall of 15, 854 in the fall of 15. Let's see what else. 856 I took in the fall of 15, and 858 I'm currently taking. The next is my resume. Currently, I'm seeking to be an assistant principal at the school that I work at, and so my resume reflects my preparation for that at the current time. Okay. My mission statement is to be an inspired educational leader in a middle school setting in the role of assistant principal. My role is lead educational facilitator, designer, learner, and researcher. I define inspired leadership as using your commitment and compassion to influence others to strive for continuous growth in the educational setting. You can see I listed that I was a STEM and robotics instructor, that I worked for Fort Hays, previously kindergarten teacher and after-school co-coordinator. My professional development highlights, including but not limited to, I've been to New York, I've been to Jacksonville, Florida, I've been to Dallas, Texas, I've had the pleasure to go to Washington and lobby. I've been to Dallas and Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and Portland, Oregon. I bring a lot of that stuff back to the schools and to make our schools a better place to be. So, my leadership roles in my previous district: I was the BITE team participant, bringing you technology and education, co-director of the after-school program. I was also on the building leadership team. For my current school district, I am the data team achievement facilitator along with the CHAMPS facilitator. I serve on the secondary technology and robotics task force. I'm the team leader for Encore and, like I said before, a CHAMPS facilitator. I keep up on current trends by learning from Dr. Moody as an adjunct professor for Fort Hays State. I've also had the opportunity to go out on a Google training with him. The next thing that I'm going to be showing you is a presentation that I put together that kind of talks about what I've been doing throughout this program. Hopefully this will answer some questions. If you see an activity that I've done and it has an S, it means it was a secondary activity, E is for elementary activity, and D is for district activity. My philosophy in education: my personal philosophy of the role of education in society has changed over the 18 years that I've been in the role of teacher. Coming into education as a career choice almost 2 decades ago, I had an idealistic vision of students whose norms matched my norms. Since that time, I've come to the realization that education is a lot more than children just sitting in rows taking in information. The pendulum swings have been major in just the past 4 to 5 years alone. With those pendulums, I've come to the realization that in order to best serve our students, teachers must embrace a growth mindset, now more than ever. Embracing change daily is a must in this job, regardless of the assignment in the school setting. We're working with a dynamic and changing world in which the acquisition, application, and sharing of knowledge is more important than simply the acquisition of knowledge. The implication for educators and administrators would be that in all jobs, we are required to be constantly learning and changing. No longer is sit and get acceptable for teachers or for the students that we serve. We need to be facilitators, helping students develop their own knowledge of the world in which they live, and more importantly, we need as educators to be helping one another in that constantly changing task. In the role of administration, an administrator must at all times be the lead learner. It is his or her responsibility to establish an environment that embraces the growth necessary to facilitate change and move towards the success of all learners. Personally, for me, I believe that to lead, you must be an inspirational leader, developing leadership along with trust. Inspired leaders do not push, they guide by example. There's more energy to be had in solving problems rather than simply focusing on them. Progress is impossible without change, and those who cannot change their minds cannot change anything. George Bernard Shaw. I will embrace a growth mindset to move my school in the direction of great things. Now to go over the standards. For Standard 1, it is my belief that I will be a visionary leader for all. My belief is that as lead educator, my goal is to provide the best education and educational setting for those that I serve. At the current moment, I am a data talk facilitator for this district. I've put in well over 7 hours, 7 that I've documented. I'm also a CHAMPS facilitator, putting in over 105 hours. CHAMPS and Safe and Civil Schools by Randy Sprick would be our behavioral MTSS initiative that we have been implementing. I have been chosen to lead the secondary in this implementation, so I have spent over 105 hours working at the district and elementary and secondary level to facilitate this. Like I said, our school district has 3 major initiatives that they're undertaking: one-to-one technology, MTSS behavioral implementation, and data talk implementation. Within this PowerPoint, I've listed the hours that I have completed these things. On the robotics task force, we're trying to create a cohesive program from K through 12. I've spent about 5 hours. The secondary technology task force, at the current time, about 3¼ hours. I'm also the Encore team leader. I meet with my team weekly, twice a week, and so I put in well over 23 hours. Standard 2, as the CHAMPS facilitator, I've had the opportunity at the elementary, secondary, and district level to collaborate with and create the implementation vision for our MTSS behavioral intervention. Some of my artifacts, I've done a lot of presentations. I go out to our district office, I go out to elementary schools, I talk to new teachers, or new teacher orientation, and so I've had the opportunity for a lot of leadership within that. I was also in charge of lining up the keynote and speakers for the CAMEL conference that was hosted at our school also. I was an avid conference participant this summer, and one of those was to present on school-wide WICR strategies. I also presented at the Student Tech Fair. For Standard 3, through my work with Safe and Civil Schools, I've been able to facilitate change throughout my school to protect the organization and order in which the day is handled. So again, I did a presentation to new teachers, I presented at the district office, I went to Portland, Oregon for participation in training of trainers. Standard 4, as an educational leader, it's my responsibility to promote our schools to the community which it serves. I have ties to this community as I used to work in the private sector. My dad worked here for 20+ years. My brother has had a business here since 1987, so I feel like as if I am kind of in tune with the needs of Junction City. I have 2 artifacts. I created a PowerPoint presentation on understanding Junction City, and for Dr. Moody, we did an internal and external publics presentation. For Standard 5, a good educational leader must be reflective in practice. I'm constantly looking for feedback from my administration on how to handle dealings with parents and community members. After my first year in the district, I was asked by the Director of Secondary Ed, Carol Arjona, to participate in a leadership academy. I've received emails from administration commending me on how I handle parents and staff within my school. Their feedback during times of conflict resolution is very important to me. For Standard 6, our school district is a leader in analyzing trends in education and responding to those needs. We rolled out a one-to-one initiative at the middle school level, and we will be doing the same at the high school level. This is to better prepare our students for the global community in which they will soon become a part of. I had the wonderful opportunity to go to the ISTE conference in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania this summer. I created a presentation, Global Classrooms with a Site of Copyright, and then I have also shared my expertise in using iPads in the K2 classroom. At the district level participation, I went to the ISTE conference, I've been to the CHAMPS conference, and requirements were that I bring that knowledge back to my school, which I have. Elementary, safe and civil schools, I'm the trainer of trainers for secondary. Requirement of participation would be ongoing collaboration to bring elementary and secondary together for a cohesive implementation of MTSS behavioral initiatives and to create a timeline for implementation for the district. Multiple collaborative efforts and presentations along with including all K-12 staff has happened. So also, technology integration collaboration. In October, November, I helped to implement iPads into an elementary classroom. Secondary level, I've been the Encore team leader, the CHAMPS leader and facilitator, that's Safe and Civil Schools. I'm the Data Talk Encore leader and facilitator. I have been a presenter at Family Literacy Night and at the Tech Day. Now, in reflection, when I began this journey into the administrative side of the educational setting, I viewed the administrator as the enforcer of laws set forth by the school board. I felt that I had enough experience running an after-school program that I could effectively branch out to manage more than just 5 individuals. I also believed that an administrator's job ended when he or she exited the doors of the school, usually the last one to leave the building and lock up for the day. I knew that I had taught from the level of kindergarten all the way up to grad school, so naturally this was the next step in my career. Because I worked for Fort Hays as an adjunct professor, completing my endorsement online was a natural choice. I believe that it would be easy and flow simply within my new position in the middle school that I have moved to. The transition has been made easy by the cooperation of my administrator, giving me a lot of leadership positions, and by Dr. Moody giving me guidance. My actual experience was very enjoyable. I was able to apply my leadership roles of Data Team Facilitator, CHAMPS Secondary Facilitator, Encore Team Leader, and Adjunct Professor for Fort Hays to the ISLIC standards. The whys, hows, and whats began to make sense when I became familiar with the expectations of those in the educational leader position. I have a great principal and assistant principal, and they are familiar with my career goals, and they've given me many opportunities to sit in on their administrative meetings and give my opinions on how we can move the school in positive directions. They believed in me and have encouraged me along the way. My question that I'm seeking to still resolve is how to bridge the fine line between enforcer of the regulations set forth by the board while also being the lead educational resource for the school which I serve. I plan on being an inspirational leader, being able to build relationships so that if the hard conversations need to be had, I will have given enough positives that the negatives turn into opportunities to grow for the teacher. I plan to be results-oriented, customer-focused, customer being the students and their parents. I expect to have a vision. I will be strategically focused, and I will effectively get work done through others. I'll be good at dealing with conflict. I plan to ask great questions, make high-quality decisions, be a trusted leader, and be an incredible communicator. I strive to be a servant leader. Because I've been given so many opportunities, I've had to deal with issues related to the job. The initiative of Data Talks has not been welcomed with open arms. We have many teachers who are what I call old-timers who have not embraced a growth mindset. I hope that I will teach them that if you don't like something, then voice a solution, don't simply complain. That's kind of one of my leadership goals. I've sought to find pods of people within the groups who are leaders, and I've used them to take positive information back to the group to serve in leadership roles beneath my team leader role. Hopefully all of the things that I've learned through these leadership opportunities will help me to be the best administrator that I can be. Thank you.